What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Super Otaku Show again. And my camera's still freaking the hell out, so I'm trying to get it to fix itself. Anyway, anybody that was here a minute ago, we just had major technical difficulties. Everything exploded. Uh, as always, though, I am joined by my Roman half. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing great. It's weird because on your screen you're pointing to Sharif, or my screen you're pointing to Sharif. So I'm like, what?
And of course, the shooting star sheriff himself, Sharif. How you doing, buddy?
Hey man, what's going on?
Fixed. Yeah, I'm having a time. So before we get a very fun intro with Easter jokes and preambles and Passover gags, but we'll say this time, anybody who was here before is this actually pertains to our kind of first bit of housekeeping. Is that last week we did our spring anime review kind of draft, and we had each picked a pair of shows that we were going to watch the first couple episodes as they came out over the next month or so, and then do a regroup and see which ones out of those 6 shows we really liked, connected with, or just didn't like, and why. And one of the shows that we picked, we knew could be troublesome because we couldn't find where it was streaming stateside. Sharif had chosen Eden Zero.
Yes.
And I did a bunch of research on it, and it turns out that in Japan, Netflix gets certain shows to stream exclusively there, airing just like Funimation and Crunchyroll do stateside. So Shaman King and Eden Zero and a few other shows stream initially as their like first airing weekly on Netflix, which is cool. So I took the hit for the team. I bought a VPN because it's generally a useful thing to have when you stream and stuff anyway. So I bought a VPN. I went on Japanese Netflix, and it turns out that not only does Japanese Netflix not have English subtitles on the majority of their content, they don't have any other language subtitles on the majority of their content.
Nope.
Wow.
You will speak Japanese,
Or you get the fuck out.
that's it.
Which is really funny because in Japan itself, that's very rarely the case. Like, every sign has an English translation on it. Just, having to do with colonialization and all that. Fun stuff that we can't get into. Now,
Yeah.
I did try, when Bear informed us that the show could not be found on Netflix, I did go searching for it. I had to do some back alley dealings, and you get to a guy eventually who will trade you for a hand job, but I've already given enough hand jobs that day, and I just couldn't do any more. My wrist was killing me. So, I couldn't get the show, and I really apologize for that. I tried my best. I did. I'm starting to think he didn't actually have the show, though. I never did see it.
At least you didn't give out the hand job.
Well, I mean, I would have for the show.
Okay. Well,
It's Easter Sunday, guys. Come on.
Aaron would take that hit for the team.
I might appreciate my sacrifice.
does this count as your goat?
Oh, man. So, suffice to say, don't get a VPN just to watch things on Japanese Netflix. Get it for some other reason, like personal security, I guess. And to crash your computer at the beginning of your podcast the first time you start it up. Oh, man. Yeah, I've learned the limitations of my computer is that it cannot handle a Discord call, streaming, recording, and running a VPN simultaneously. Can't do that.
Can't do it.
Anyway, so because of this snafu, we did kind of prep this. We sort of knew this could happen last week. So Sharif is going to grace us with a new pick. He is going to swap out Eden Zero for something else in the anime-averse. What are you thinking, sir?
Yeah. we watching Vanguard.
Dude, if that is your choice, I'm in.
Did we not pick Vanguard last time?
No.
I actually forgot.
No, I actually forgone it. Actually,
we watched their terrible trailer and we were like, no. Like,
Yes.
I don't know anything about this show.
Yes, and now we're gonna pick Vanguard to replace Eden Zero, which is nice because for you lovelies that in the chat or in the Discord or for Aaron's convenience, it's on the Cardfight Vanguard official YouTube channel.
That's
The
crazy.
first episode actually they did like a live stream for the first episode Friday night, I think, which was pretty neat. I when I got home from work, it was already like halfway through the episode, so I waited until it was actually up to like actually rewatch it. It's just a regular video, but it's out on there, so I'm gonna watch that, and it's got English subtitles and all that fancy stuff because Vanguard's been putting their anime up on YouTube for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, it started there. Me and you watched it like in college because it was on YouTube.
Was it like a YouTube channel, or did they just find the best way to get their stuff out there was to release it for free on YouTube?
They have their own like Vanguard YouTube channel, and they put all of their stuff up there. I'm sure it's something we'll do an entire topic on at some point, but it's become a pretty popular marketing device for a lot of these like younger skewing animes when they skew that like middle school to like early high school demographics, because a lot of people are on YouTube. It's free content, so they're not paywalled out of it, and they watch it and they go, I want the thing. Parents buy me the thing. So like card games, Pokemon has it. Pokemon actually has an app that I as an adult man have on my iPad because they have several seasons of the anime for free at any time. It's a really interesting thing because it's marketing without them officially saying it's marketing anywhere, which is kind of clever.
Well, like I've always said this: the best way to get people to see your thing is to just give it out for free.
Yep.
Like, it's a marketing gimmick, sure, but like the central premise works regardless of what it is. Like, I don't know. Like people talk to me about like copyright stuff, and honestly, it's like, well, after a certain point, it's like if people are distributing your piece of media for free, more people are going to see it and possibly become more invested in it to want to get the real stuff and merchandising and all that crap.
Exactly.
And it does. It happens with all sorts of things. Like, piracy is not the end of civilization. In fact, it probably helps media more than it hurts them.
Yeah, it does. It does. I agree with Aaron 110%.
So Metallica, shut up.
Oh man.
He said all that to get to that point. That was his
also
his
release all the animes for free.
So
my radical pitch.
To kind of finish this first bit of housekeeping here, I am so excited to talk about Overdressed because that first episode is wild, and we'll get to it when we get to it. I have thoughts. Guys, you can't see it very well, but I started an anime review notes section in my phone just for when we go through these, and I did one for Cardfight Vanguard, not realizing that we hadn't chosen it. So I'm really glad I did, and I'm super excited.
So it is good. Baseline?
It's something.
Okay, well, that piques my interest more. If somebody told me something's good, and then somebody told me it's something, I'm gonna go for the something.
So, to give you guys a reminder of what the shows we are going to watch are our Way of the House Husband, which is going to be on U.S. Netflix, Joran, Princess of a whole bunch of other things, because it's a very long name, but Joran is going to be on Crunchyroll, Cardfight Vanguard Overdressed, which is airing everywhere that there is internet, Dyna Zenon, which is the new SSS's Gridman show, that's going to be on, I believe, Funimation and Crunchyroll. The World Ends With You, I believe, is also a Crunchyroll, and Megalobox 2 Nomad. So those are our 6 choices. Those are the shows if you want to watch along with us. We'll probably be doing it sometime in March. We'll do that early review roundup. But that's enough of our housekeeping. We have news to go over, so I'm going to open our handy-dandy Google Doc with all of our news in it, and I think I would actually kind of like to start with the piece of news Sharif just brought to our attention, a tweet that happened this week. Do you want to tell the internet about this one?
Yeah. So So this week, so it's actually funny because this news was actually brought to my attention by by my buddy Keon. And he sent me a screenshot of something that Toei had recently tweeted out. I don't think you guys will see it, but it was a tweet earlier this week by Toei. A new galactic adventure awaits. Dragon Ball Super anime will finally return in 2022. Look forward to the Galactic Patrol arc, where Goku and friends will face an even more powerful foe than ever before. Stay tuned for information and hashtag Dragon Ball Super in it. Toei tweeted this out. Like a day later, poof, it went away.
So do you want to tell us what date this tweet was posted on?
It's on April 1st.
But that's not what it says in the screen cap.
Well, no, 331, but it was taken down like the next day.
So this was an April Fool's tweet about one of the most desired and demanded continuations in anime. A series that has been a juggernaut of shonen and like a gateway drug for so many of us. And they decided the best gag, the best goof they could do was to say, hey guys, we're making more of it.
No, it's funny too because everyone's waiting for it to come back after the Broly movie because they stopped the anime to do the Broly movie.
Yep.
So it was just a weird, like the timing was just like, hey,
yeah,
is this for real?
It was a gross in my opinion.
Yeah, it might have been a goof, might have been a gab.
I mean,
can we abolish April Fool's Day forever? It's the stupidest holiday.
Well,
I hate it so much.
I would normally agree because I don't like pranks, but the reason I disagree is because I'm gonna shill for one of my favorite like anime YouTubers right now is Totally Not Mark did an absolutely brilliant review.
Is it the hentai one?
No, he did a really in-depth, high, incredibly well-written and researched review on the what I now see as the greatest shonen ever made, Keijo.
I think I saw that pop up in my feed, and I was like, I know he ain't serious.
So it was his April Fool's video, but it is hysterical. I highly recommend watching it. It's like 12 minutes of nonstop parody. We tweeted it out the other day, I believe. You can find it on the YouTubes. It's hysterical, and that's the upside to April Fool's Day.
Can't. Yes. I mean, you could do that any day. Let's be honest. You could do that any day, and it would still be funny. But yeah, I don't like these people having the power to just take this one day to do mean things to all of us. Like it's whenever corporations do April Fool's shit, it's the most annoying. It's like, God damn it, shut up, go away.
Yeah, it really is the worst.
But they do one of two things, right? They'll either put out something that like everybody actually wants, and then just be like April Fools. Or the other thing is they just tweet out something really stupid and weird.
The thing that always makes me salty is when companies are like, this is an April Fool's joke, and then like 3 days later they're like, but it's really not.
Yeah, they'll be like, due to fandom pressure, we will now apparently be making this show.
The only time I think it's okay is that I believe that's how Yakuza 7 got started. Is they had done like a joke tweet of the game being in like a JRPG combat, and people liked it so much. A year later, they came back and they're like, "We're really doing that now. It's gonna be dope."
Yes. It's, you know what it is? It's companies throwing out feelers. Like, they say it's a joke, that they meant this as a joke, but they're really just like putting out a pitch to see like how people respond to it.
Secret ninja pitch.
Yep. Sly corporations.
Tempest says they're looking for anything about Zoids, and we'll get there one day. So we do get a couple. I'm going to kind of group a pair of these news stories together because I think they're kind of cool and they're short. We are getting a Tiger and Bunny season 2. Tiger and Bunny is a cool anime from about 2013, 2012.
I was gonna say you and I, Scott, watched it together at some point, so it's old.
Yeah, it's just like that the Devil is a part-timer, getting kind of a late renewal, I believe thanks to Netflix. And also, JoJo Season 6, for any of you JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fans, just got officially announced. Stone Ocean is coming back. They did it with a cool reveal, too. They had a panel where all 5 of the other JoJo voice actors were doing scenes and reading together, and they got to announce the 6th JoJo. So she's been cast, and she's coming. If you're a JoJo fan, get hype and do things beautifully, I suppose.
Sweet.
Now, we do have a couple of other cool pieces of news. The next one is... This is one that I know Sharif was excited to talk about, and I don't know much about this, but All Might's in Deadpool?
Yeah, I saw the panel.
Sharif, do you know anything about this? Like, do you want to break it down for me, or Aaron? Either of you, because I know nothing about this outside of this article. I was I was like intrigued.
So basically, the only thing was like on Deadpool. So Deadpool was like in trouble or whatever, and it was actually another thing that came out on April 1st. So it was like another April Fool's, like, haha. And then basically Deadpool was in trouble. And then My Hero, All Might jumps in and he says his trademark line, "I am here."
That's fantastic. So I can't find the writer of this article, but it's from Otaku Mu, or you can find it on Anime News Network, and it says that in the 9th chapter of Santaro Kasama and his Hikaru Sugi's Deadpool Samurai manga, My Hero Academia character All Might shows up to save Deadpool from trouble while uttering his trademark phrase, "I am here." The chapter has released on the Shonen Jump Plus app. So I don't know if we have Shonen Jump Plus as well. I know the Shonen Jump app is something I kind of fanboy all over very frequently and highly recommend. I love it. It's got a ton of dope stuff on it.
Oh, yeah.
For like $2 a month. So if you want to find it, you can try and go check it out on the internet. It's just a fun little thing they did. I was like, that's a wild anime, like, Marvel crossover. I'm into it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see a little more of that. Because I think that, in a weird way, Western media has kind of made superheroes their anime. Like, you watch a movie like Infinity War, and the fight scenes very much feel like anime fight scenes. And I think part of that's purposeful. Like, just the way they use their powers and stuff. Like, we never got stuff like that before. The West is becoming an anime. The movies are becoming animes.
And it's neat, because like anime, like superheroes on the universe were never very popular in Japan comparatively. When they did go there, they would always be like, they would be like Easternized, I guess would be like the reverse to Westernized, where like Spider-Man is more like a Kamen Rider type Sentai guy. So it's just a bunch of funny stuff.
Spider-Man like common.
Yeah.
Yep. There's like a Spider-Man Kamen Rider like TV show.
I'm sorry, did you mean Moomin Rider, the greatest hero of all time?
Speaking of Kamen Riders, I got another article here for you guys. The Kamen Rider 50th anniversary movie is coming out in 2023, and I wrote this in here mostly because I was incredibly surprised by who the director and the creator of this is. So it is coming out. It is going to be Shin Kamen Rider, which there's been a bunch of Shin series in Japan. There's been Shin Godzilla, which is a wild-looking reinterpretation of Godzilla. There was a Shin Ultraman, apparently. And
I want to watch Shin Godzilla.
It looks interesting. The new one, though, is going to be Shin Kamen Rider, and it is being made by Hideki Anno, the guy who created Evangelion.
Ooh, interesting.
That sounds wild to me.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Get ready to have a psychological nightmare.
Therapist will be provided at the theater for you to talk about the film.
So you can
Oh my
express
goodness.
your emotions afterwards.
Oh my.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm ready.
I mean, I'm into it. Out of curiosity, do any of you guys have any real experience with Kamen Rider? Have you guys ever watched like a full series or anything, or gotten
Nah,
into
I
one?
have personally no.
I went through. I was going through a Sentai kick. So I kind of did because they tried to localize Kamen Rider in the West back like a few this was a long time ago. They tried to serialize Kamen Rider in the West. It just never popped off.
Yeah, they've
I
tried
have
twice, I think. They did the Dragon
they
Rider
tried
in
it
the
twice.
2000s, and they did the Kamen Rider in the 90s.
Yeah. And it's crazy because there are actually like fan sites that are dedicated to like just like doing subtitles and translating for Kamen Rider.
That's awesome.
Which is cool. Kamen Rider is like basically like adult. I would say it's like a slightly more teenage version of Super Sentai as we know here as Power Rangers. It's just a little bit more adult, a little bit. But I think Kamen Rider is cool. If anything, I mean, with Super Sentais, I think the transformations are actually pretty awesome in Kamen Rider. I like them a lot better than the Power Ranger transformations, which, I mean, but they have like the weirdest gizmos.
Yep.
So it's cool.
So
Evan.
like as most things, my experience with this anime is just through toys that I didn't know what they were toys to. So like I think I had at one point a Kamen Rider action figure, but I don't know. I just kind of like lumped it all in my mind with like Power Rangers and the various other similar like Ultraman. I thought they were all just from like the same universe.
Yep, they were all one
Like
guy.
that they all just like took place in the same common universe in my mind, anyways. Because I did watch Power Rangers, like when I was a kid. I did watch the Power Rangers movie as a kid, and so that makes
Aaron, you're not. Yeah, no, Aaron. Technically, you're not wrong because in Japan there are like special episodes where like the Power Rangers team up with like Kamen Riders. I know it was like things they did back in the day. I don't know if they do it so much more now, but Kamen Rider and Power Rangers have definitely have crossed over. Before,
Fun fact for you guys: that is how they tried to do. You know how they can do like a hidden pilot inside seasons of TV. It's a pretty common-ish thing.
Yeah.
They did that with Power Rangers and both the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Kamen Rider show attempt. In one of the first 3 series of Power Rangers, I forget which one, there is an episode where Kamen Rider, and it's like the OG, like, cheesy, kind of bug-looking Kamen Rider, comes and helps the Power Rangers, and it's very funny. I think he's called the Masked Rider back then, because that's what Kamen, I believe, loosely translates to. So that's really fun, but if you guys haven't seen this poster, I would love for, like, you guys to look it up. Just 50th anniversary Kamen Rider. Dude looks wild. He's in, like, a post-apocalyptic, like, flared-out trench coat and just, like, walking dramatically, and I was like, I would watch this. I don't know what this is. It's tight.
Yeah. Looks super cool.
I saw the poster. The poster looks really cool. It looks like Deku from the most recent chapters of My Hero.
So,
spoiler.
Our last piece of news we're going to cover, well, I guess I have one other thing that I'm going to put in here, is that for those of you who are into it, Giorno Giovanna is coming out in Jump Force. I mostly put this in here because I want to know if anybody out there watching or listening, if any of you guys are playing Jump Force, let me know. I just want to know who plays it and why. I'm very genuinely curious. It's not like a mean thing, because I had trouble getting into Jump Force. It definitely aped Dragon Ball, like, Xenoverse, and I love Xenoverse, but it didn't translate for Jump Force for me.
I never understood, like, I guess the idea has always kind of been to make it kind of like, you know, like a Smash Bros type of thing. Where
Yeah, it's
like,
anime Smash Bros.
You're taking these disparate animes and putting them together, but it's like, I don't know. I guess you could probably say the same thing about Smash Brothers, but like I look at some of the anime characters they put in there, and it's just like, I'm sorry. How is the guy from Death Note? How is Light gonna take on fucking Goku? He's gonna die.
Well, I mean, Yugi and Kaiba are two of the most OP guys.
I guess, do they do like an Injustice type of thing where they like have some like comic-y ass excuse for like why they're all the
Well,
same
because
power level?
in this one they're all in our world, so it's like weird magic, like all of their magic powers and silliness are real, but like in I don't know, it's strange. There's like a box or something involved. I don't know. I don't remember. I played it for like 4 hours, and it didn't vibe with me. So I was just curious because they keep releasing DLC. They keep this game going.
What kind of playstyle is it?
It's like an arena battler. It's what
Well, I mean,
every
like,
anime is.
I was gonna say, is it kind of like set up like the Naruto games? Like,
It's I believe a similar team to the ones that made the Ninja Storm games.
okay, I do
So-
like those. Those are
I do
kinda
too.
cool.
Those are great.
Yeah.
But anyway, so our last piece of news is the thing that I'm probably most excited about. I literally didn't watch the trailer because I was waiting to watch it with you guys here on the show. I'm dropping the trailer into the stream chat in case anybody on stream wants to watch it, because as always, I will not show the footage because copyright strikes are real. And we're gonna watch it all together. So I have the link in our Discord chat already. If you guys want to pull that up, we're gonna watch this. This is the new trailer for the new Mamoru host of the film. I am a big Mamoru fan. I own Summer Wars. I own the Beast of the Boy, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. I don't own Mirai, and I have seen his best film that he's ever made so many times. His best film he ever made is the our War Games section of the Digimon movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
He
Okay.
that it like he's still making
Yeah.
great stuff, but it's sad he peaked his first time around.
You peeked after seeing that.
All of these award-winning films he made after were trite, but the Digimon one, it's my jam. But anyway, guys, if you pull that up, I'm gonna count us in. It's a pretty short 1-minute trailer, but it says Belle, the Dragon, and the Freckled Princess is the name of the movie. It's coming out this year, and I do believe I found this trailer with English subs, which is what matters.
Sweet.
All right, so I'm gonna count us
Nice.
in. If you guys are ready, on 3, 2, play.
Oh, this is already a visual feast for the eyes.
Yeah.
He does some pretty wild, very like vibrant colors.
Yeah. This is. Okay. Yeah.
Oh wow, that ended even closer. Like, there was a 30-second.
That was the 30-second trailer. So
It was a teaser.
yeah, it was the teaser.
That
It
was
looks
super
pretty.
teaser.
Hollywood, take notes. That's what a teaser trailer looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a teaser
Yeah.
trailer looks like. A teaser trailer is not a 2-minute trailer that gives me all the information I needed to know about the film.
Yes.
So
That was straight up a teaser.
yep. I know it's kind of short and sweet and to the point, but I was feeling it. It looks really, really gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful. Top-notch animation quality as always. But there's a lot going on in every frame, it looks like.
I am
Yeah.
so incredibly excited just to watch more of that.
I'm digging the whole like, and you can tell too because I can definitely see like the Digimon Tri vibes going on in it.
Yeah.
So I definitely, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that, and I was like, this looks interesting. I'm the whole digital aspect. I'm definitely curious on. So
Yeah, I don't know if he's still worked on any Digimon stuff, but I definitely feel like the modern Digimon series, like Tri, Last Kizuna, the games even, definitely looked at like the Hosoda style. Like, and it was like, we like that kind of pastel-y type, multi-layered hues type dealio going on. They were like, let's do that.
For sure.
All right. So,
yeah, which is.
now, if you got a closing thought, go for it, Drew.
No, I was actually gonna say, since we were talking briefly just about Digimon Survive, there was actually some news that came out about Digimon Survive.
Wait, was there
which came
really?
out
I
this-
need this. What is it?
Yeah,
Is it
so,
good?
Well, Game Rant actually posted a new article that Digimon Survive is actually going to be Digimon's darkest take on the series yet.
Weird.
Which for you guys who don't know the story of Digimon Survive, it is a tactical RPG game that was supposed to come out years ago. I think it was like slated for 2018, but then delays happened with the game. It got pushed, and then 2020 happened. It got delayed some more. But it's funny because just 2 days ago, Game Rant had just posted a thing how Digimon Survive is going to basically have a darker type of storyline. I don't know how dark it's going to be, but because there are things like permadeath and there's going to be like branching routes, this game is super ambitious. So they did post so evidently there's a little bit more information coming about. There's not a scheduled release date, I don't think, yet for Digimon Survive, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing to it whenever it comes out.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it is a baby mode.
I also have a bit of news. The new Godzilla versus King Kong movie was the first. It broke like pandemic box office records. So good job for that anime. Solid piece of work.
Dude, yeah, King Kong off the cage, Superman punching Godzilla is the highlight of my year.
I haven't seen the movie, but like people were like, I was like, I kind of want to watch it, and people were like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, if it delivers just the basic premise of King Kong versus Godzilla, I'm like, I'm all here for that. It would be nice if movies attempted to be better than the premise of their to deliver more on the premise of what they're trying to sell.
Nope, just big monk fight big Zilla.
I like to be surprised. Like, I like it when movies are good. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I like to be surprised. Like, if like watching Mad Max Fury Road. Like, I was going in expecting a wild, high-octane movie. I wasn't expecting a masterpiece, which is what Fury Road is.
It is, but like the original two Mad Maxes were also much more grounded, serious, like intelligent.
I was gonna say they're good. If I'm being frank, Fury Road is the best.
Oh, it is. But like, I mean, he's made the same movie 4 times. He got better every time.
Very good. Like, this dude was on hiatus.
He's not wrong.
Listen, this guy was on hiatus between Thunderdome and making Fury Road for years while he made films like Happy Feet and what's the other one he did?
Oh man, I don't remember.
He made Happy Feet and then
I didn't know that.
Fury Road.
No, I can't look at Fury Road the same way. We're moving on. But before
okay, no, but I have a real piece of anime news, and that's I saw a tweet about Attack on Titan. You guys said it was going to be like another year before we got something new, right?
Yeah, according to the Funimation post that we got before.
So they said, I believe I saw this on IGN, was reporting on this, that there will be another episode this coming winter, and I don't know if they mean that there's going to be a final episode, or they're going to do
so that's the thing, is because according
in the middle.
IGN could have it right, and I might have been wrong, but according to the initial post that I read, and I read this a couple times, is that it was going to be the 2022 winter season.
Well, I think this was like this was breaking news. Like, this just came out, so they were saying that there will be an episode this winter. But again, I don't think they elaborated on whether that. I don't think this is going to be a final episode. I think for some reason they're doing like to keep people. Not to have people not disengage from it entirely. They're going to release something in between.
That makes sense.
I feel bad. Like, learning about how Attack on Titan does its, like, how they have done every season, and then, like, handing it off to MAPPA, and MAPPA just being like, oh, shit. I am not an advocate for, like, destroying your staff to get shit out. Considering that the gap between season 1 and season 2 is 4 years, and season 2 having some of the most high quality animations and storytelling, whereas the first season has moments where it looks really good, and you could tell they took their time and like really made those the best, but like everything in between is very just like stale shots that don't move, and it's got all the standard like anime problems, but that comes with the industry and how they do business, which I'm just not an advocate for, because it kind of sucks. Like, especially when you see how good things can be when you give people the time to do it. It's like, oh god, if only the entire thing could be this way,
Man,
I would give them the time.
I feel like that's with that's with anything, with any art form. I mean, that's with video games. That's with you're always artists are always battling with the corporate head honchos because they're like, we need it out by this date, and they're like, but we need more time.
Well, the worst part is like it definitely doesn't have to be that way. Like the film industry, with the one exception of the VFX side of things, does not do things this way, because they would just straight up like they would run into problems with unions, which all these other industries do not have. And it would be great if I don't know if there's any anime unions. I'd have to imagine there's like one. There's got to be like one anime union out there.
I don't know, but it sounds like Aaron now just assigned himself some homework to learn about anime unions.
Oh, that would be cool. You know what? We're going to do a whole episode on the anime industry and anime unions and maybe things we could do to help as consumers.
But that's not the topic this week. But before we do get to this week's main event in our topic here, I do want to remind you guys that you can find us as the Super Otaku Show wherever you like podcasts. We are now officially on iTunes. If you want to really help support the show, go give us a 5-star review, because that is the only way iTunes will ever let anybody find our show, literally ever. So all you're going to do is go into the podcast app or go on iTunes, click the little 5 stars, and you're done.
Does it have to be 5 stars? It only accepts 5 stars.
So like, you can give other reviews if you don't want to give us 5 stars. I mean,
I'm just curious.
You don't have to,
I don't know how that
but
works.
the 5-star reviews are basically the way to get your podcast moved in front of people's faces.
I see.
Which is a little annoying because I always hate systems like that where only 100% is worth it.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, I was about to go advocate that everybody gives us 1 star. as long as they include the line, my favorite line in any 1-star rating. If I could give this 0 stars, I would.
Oh man, give us 5 stars and write that anyway.
If I give this 10 stars, I would.
Oh man, but so that's our shameless plug for the week. You can find us on the internets, and then of course this week our topic is from Sharif. What do you got for us, buddy? We have this banner. It says East to West, and I have no idea where you're going with this.
I'm going to take a guess. Can I take a guess before we start? Yeah. Is it going to be about how anime became popular in the West?
Is it about Sayuki yes. Journey to the West?
Yeah. Wait, Scott, what did you say?
I said, is it about Journey to the West? I like Sayuki.
Oh, yes. It's about all those things. So actually, it's funny because the only reason I kind of thought this was kind of fitting was because I think the Dragon Ball tweet actually kind of.
Oh no, Sharif's freezing.
Oh god.
We fixed his audio issues, and now the internet is fighting him.
Hold on. I'm here. Am I here?
You're here.
You're here. You're coming back.
Okay. All right. So it's funny.
And he's gone again.
I was thinking
it's breaking down.
No.
What has happened? Why doesn't the stream like Sharif?
It absolutely despises Sharif.
I don't know.
Oh man. All right. Sharif, why don't you try and unconnect and reconnect real quick? Because you have been completely deleted. We're gonna look real weird for a second, guys.
This is so great. The internet is censoring him, Zin Shadow.
Yeah. It's exactly.
This has happened multiple times where like they the shadowy people censor our boy Sharif.
Dude, this is we've done 3 episodes now, and on every episode, as soon as Sharif has the spotlight, as soon as he's about to like bring up a major like talking point, or he has like a salient point to make, his audio cuts out or the internet crashes. I don't know why.
I mean, he like maybe it's this kind of internet he's dealing with down there.
Yeah, if he talks too much, it gets angry. It's like too much data. Shut down.
In the swamp. Both of you need to move out of that hellscape you call a U.S. state.
If I put my head up a little, you guys can see me over the cutoff that I am now.
Yeah, I was looking at our Twitch stream. We're all over the place.
Yeah, we're all borked because I don't have a backup image set up for you, so I can't swap them for now.
We look like a cool cubist painting.
We do. Hopefully Sharif can... Oh, there he is. He's coming back.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you guys to load up. Okay, I see your faces.
You see us?
All right. Am I good?
I don't know.
We're hoping.
Okay.
All right. What I'm going to suggest is minimal motion. Maybe if you just talk and don't move, you'll confuse the internet into thinking you're not really here.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Like a T-Rex.
Whisper your sweet truths to us.
All right. So, yes, the reason I chose the topic for East to West is because a lot of things lose translation when you're moving from East to West. And I think the biggest thing I was actually thinking about is with the Dragon Ball anime, well, with the tweet, right? Because the Super anime will come back. And and this is a thing that's also stands true with like Full Metal Alchemist, with, the original 2001 series, with Brotherhood as well, is a lot of people in the East, or a lot of people on our side, we hate when things get adapted and or changed when things move over. Like I would say the biggest example would probably be with Dragon Ball Super. If for Aaron, I don't know if Aaron knows, but when the Super manga and the Super anime was running, because they were running at the same time, there was what they did was Toriyama. I was about to say Toyotaro, but Toriyama. He writes a rough draft of the script of what basically an outline of everything that's supposed to happen in a said arc. Right. What happens is a copy goes to Toei and they do the anime, and a copy goes to Toyotaro, which he does like the art for the manga.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
He does the art for like the yeah, and they basically what happens is, because they're two separate things, events play out differently in both. They reach the same conclusion, but things play out differently. But like I also want to talk about like just like when things are like adapted differently, like the original FMA, like 2001, how people go back and look at this like, I hate this because they changed, because things were adapted and changed differently, and it has a different ending, obviously, for Brotherhood, which is
wildly different.
Wildly different. But I just kind of wanted, and I know you guys are film guys as well, so both of you are film buffs. But how do you guys feel about like just in anime in general when things are adapted or things are changed and things do change slightly and they deviate off of what the source material is? I know Dragon Ball is a different topic because technically there really is no source material for Super. Yeah, for Dragon Ball and DBZ it is. Mm-hmm. But I just wonder how you guys feel about just differences when it comes to watching those, mediums and things are different.
Scott, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can take this one first. So I am of two minds here. One is I dislike when things are altered in a destructive way, right? That would be things like the way 4Kids used to adapt things is highly destructive, right? They alter baseline character like traits. They change the general theme and like tone of a show. So Yu-Gi-Oh is actually one of the easiest ones to talk about. So Yu-Gi-Oh is in Japan, as is in the West, technically a young adults or young boys series. It is a shonen. So it's meant for kids who are in like middle school. And it deals with very anime things. Like you go to the Shadow Realm, which is basically like you're banished to like hell kind of deal. Like it's a little darker sometimes, but it is still a card game. There are like some spooky stuff. Silly, like mild, like perversion is a funny thing. Like flipping up girls' skirts is a very like silly juvenile thing. Like little stuff like that is a very like Eastern thing. It's Eastern humor. But when they bring it to the West, a lot of that is removed. One of the biggest things being like the implementation of the Shadow Realm across the board. Anything where there's like actual death or harm anywhere in Yu-Gi-Oh is removed and it changed to the Shadow Realm. Like a lot of people don't know this. If you know Yu-Gi-Oh, the Duelist City arc, when Yugi battles Arcana, there are saw blades like on the map, and they changed that. They're like they send you to the Shadow Realm. They don't cut you.
Wait, okay, so hold on. Is this a change for the entire anime as a whole, or just the changes they made for the Western audiences?
And they changed this just for the Western audiences. They're like.
I guess I was trying to figure what we were talking about exactly. If we're just talking about changes in adaptation, that's one thing. If we're talking about like changes specifically that the West forces upon stuff before it's published, that's a different thing. We can talk about both, but go on.
Yeah, so I don't like those. The way like in One Piece, just the general, like they skip arcs sometimes and stuff. I know things are like not coming to me. I know that's part of why Shaman King, I believe, didn't get its finale. I'm going to spoil the ending of Shaman King a little bit. So anybody who doesn't want to hear it, earmuffs for the next 30 seconds. But Shaman King doesn't have a traditional the hero wins in the end ending. It has a bittersweet ending, and those are the only episodes that don't get dubbed in the US. So like things like that, they purposely cut. And then they also do, I think we all are familiar with Brock's donuts.
I was gonna break that up.
Brock's donuts.
Okay, like we gotta talk about that for a second, because that's probably the most like hilarious one, where it's like, in a way, I don't think that was like there are certain changes that I don't think are done in bad faith. There are certain things that I think are done in the interest of keeping things relevant. Like, for example, they don't do this in just anime. They do this in all sorts of media. For example, a famous example is in Inside Out, the Pixar film. Mm-hmm. The thing that the protagonist doesn't like, the young girl doesn't like, is broccoli. And she moves to a city where they put broccoli on pizza, and she's like, what the fuck is that? They changed that for the Japanese release to be green peppers, because over there they have like a childhood stigma against green peppers. That's like the food that kids don't like. I'm not really against that, because it makes things a little more accessible in a certain way. Now, do I recommend doing it to everything? No, because in what way are you allowing another culture to speak its truth? Like, if you don't understand why somebody doesn't like broccoli in the US, then I don't know, maybe learn about it. It's an interesting cultural difference that you can learn about through media. So in that way, I think it can be a little perverse in that it kind of cuts off our ability to empathize and learn more about other cultures and how they see things.
To kind of chain off that, my other thought is that sometimes, what is happening in the background of your home?
Is that in yours, Sharif?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
No problem.
I was very confused. Suddenly, sounds.
That's my get back in the closet.
That was Harley tip-tapping around.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that, my other thought is that sometimes it's necessary because things don't translate well. So one of my favorite animes of all time is School Rumble. And I've watched bits of School Rumble in Japanese, but I normally watch the dub. And it is a gag anime, and humor is highly subjective and culturally based.
It's very difficult one to translate.
And Japanese humor is very niche, and it's somewhere between it has its own flavor and a little bit of Monty Python in it. In that show where it's stuff just happens and you're just expected to roll with it. And they have to adapt that to make it make sense to a Western audience, because, even me, as somebody who's a giant weeb who has been watching anime since I was, 5 or 6 years old, who does like Japanese culture and things, I watch a decent amount of foreign films, there's moments when, that show does things in the manga, when the manga is a little more faithfully adapted, and I'm I don't understand why this is funny or humorous. So, sometimes I think it is because you want your audience to understand the intent of the creation, right? Whereas something like 4Kids does it not to match the original intent. They do it to watered down to get to a lower audience rating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Talking specifically about like when things make changes out of necessity, like an anime outruns the manga or things like that. I do not mind what studios, what interpretation studios do. One of the things that's interesting about like Full Metal Alchemist specifically is that like, unlike a lot of animes that would kind of have to just start meandering and making up random plot points, is that it was just given the go-ahead to interpret the ending however they saw fit. Which is an interesting concept because you're being given like the first part of a story. It's like Mad Libs, where he's like, oh, all right, or I don't know if you guys ever played that game where somebody like gives you a sentence and then you have to like write a sentence after it to like continue the story.
Oh yeah.
It's like that, but more grand, and it's kind of interesting seeing how Bones interpreted the manga up until that point and their own anime property that they were working on. And the author also found it interesting, and I think it shows a bit of maturity because, like, it's not gonna be a guaranteed hit. You can interpret things weird and wrong and mess up, and it could turn out bad. And that happens with a lot of animes where they outpace the mangas, and then people do not like the results. And that's possibly because the manga authors probably have a more unique understanding of their characters and stuff. So if an anime is willing to really adapt to their character, if they have a fondness for the things they're creating, and aren't just like following a manga point by point and not really thinking about it too much, it can yield interesting results. So either way, I'm for it. Like, make the changes you want. Get a bad anime, you know what? Shit happens. Maybe we'll get a rerun in the future like they do for so many of these, where you get Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And here's the thing, like, I haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, the original, all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of the end. I've watched the movie, Conquer of Shambhala, or Chambala, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't like it as much as Brotherhood, but I do like it. It's not bad. It takes a different approach to the themes that are laid down in the beginning, which is interesting. But on the other half, where we're talking about changes that are made for the purpose of reconnecting it to a different culture, yet it's more complicated. Because on the one hand, when things come to the West, specifically like America, you have this very Puritan media apparatus that really does have a focus on censoring material. So like stuff in Pokemon, some of it was, that's feels harmless changes, silly and really stupid changes for some of it, where it's like you changed rice ball to donut because you didn't think kids would understand what a rice ball was.
Which is funny because I don't think they do that anymore because that's become common.
Yeah, it's like, I get it's not a snack here, but like, you could tell me what a rice ball is, I'll understand. All made of rice. Like, what's this that hard? No, kids aren't stupid. And then on top of that, they didn't animate over the onigiri, and so he's holding onigiri, he's calling it a donut. What kind of donut is that?
I always assumed that that's just what Japanese donuts look like, and I was like, that's a neat shape.
So not only is it bad, it makes people stupider because it's ruined our perception of what a Japanese donut is, which, for anybody that doesn't know, they look just like our donuts. Just in case you were curious.
I want to open
a popular Japanese chain called Mr. Donut. So it's like Dunkin' is over here. Like
I now want to open a chain that sells donuts and triangles. Like,
and then isn't there that like famously bad like animation part where it's like supposed to be an onigiri rolling down, like a giant onigiri rolling down a hill, and they made it a sandwich. They like reanimated over it into a sub sandwich, and it's jank ass rolling down this hill.
Oh man, I don't know
like
that part.
5 frames, like 2 frames per second. And anyways, but like I do find it a bit perverse when they do make those changes, because it's usually in bad faith, not as a way to make it culturally relevant, because production companies think they know what's culturally relevant, but really they're creating culture. They are developing the culture for us, and it's kind of gross when they do it. And probably one of the worst examples is obviously like Sailor Moon, right? Where you have a lot of the queer subtext completely erased for the sake of our Puritan belief systems, which is really shitty.
Which
because
all of
there's
us
probably
can
a lot
see
of
it
kids-
anyway. Even as a kid, I was like, those two are a thing, right? And like, I didn't know what that meant. I was like 7.
Yeah.
They're cousins. They're cousins, Sky. It's like, wow, those cousins are really into each other. Is that what I think?
Those two are cute together.
So like, anyways, when it comes to, I don't like that. It can be complicated. So like when you were talking about humor specifically, while I would rather watch like their humor play out as is, there are things such as like wordplay, which
That
just
literally can't translate
literally
because
cannot. Yeah, they literally cannot translate because it just does not work.
Yeah,
so stuff like that. It's like, okay, cool. Understand why you need to make those changes.
yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff happens with dubs too.
In Hajime no Ippo, I know that's definitely one of the hardest aspects of this. There's a specific family in Hajime no Ippo that they're running like gag. Like the thing that is like cute about them as a family is that they all talk in Japanese style pun on their own family name. Where they change the last syllable or a syllable of any word they say to more closely resemble their family name. And it's like a running gag. But it translates so poorly into the US when I find totally legitimate translations on the internet. Give me Hajime no Ippo on fucking Shonen Jump or something, guys. It like sometimes it reads super awkward and stilted. Other times, like you'll have a more clever translator who can at least make a pun out of the context of the situation. But a lot of the times, you just have to do your best to infer what the gag was supposed to be. And like that's the thing. Is just again like puns don't play well, especially because American puns, I guess like English puns and Japanese puns are built differently in structure.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
it just has to do with language differences that can be difficult to translate over.
Yeah, that's true too. Cause it's funny too because I was watching there's two comedy anime that I actually had gotten into within like the past like maybe a few years. One of it is The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I love Psyche K. And the other one is I think it's called Teasing with Takagi-san or something like that. It's about this this middle school these middle school boy and girl, they like play pranks on each other. But a lot of it but I say the only reason I bring those two up is because Psyche K is completely subtitled. Like none of the episodes. It's on Netflix too. If anybody wants to watch this, Psyche K is completely on Netflix. Takagi-san is all on Crunchyroll. I watched it all on Crunchyroll. But there's little things that like little cultural nods, and I'm like, I didn't get that joke, but I know it's a Japanese thing. Like there's this one episode where evidently I don't know if this is a true thing or not, but if you write somebody's name on like an eraser and like you use up the eraser, evidently you're like destined to be with that person or whatever. Yep. So like the whole joke is that she doesn't know he doesn't know. She's like playing the joke on him and he thinks that's his name on the eraser.
Yeah.
But like the thing is like I'm like in American culture, that's not a thing at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the things that always gets me that I used to be very confused about growing up, especially because it happens a bunch of times, I think in Great Teacher Onizuka and a few other places, is that like in the US, when we're like shipping two people together, you put like a heart with their names in it. But in Japan, it seems to be like a little like stylized bow and arrow with the names on top and bottom. And that happens in a lot of shows, like especially like the ones from like the 80s, where like they'll walk into the classroom and somebody has drawn on the chalkboard the like little like arrow bow and then written like two people's names, and I was always confused. I was like, I have no idea what that is.
So it's like a Cupid's arrow type of thing?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a Cupid's arrow.
Ironically, it's still somehow a Western like imagery, just not the more commonly used heart symbol.
It's very neat.
And that's the thing, but like to me it's like, okay, so you don't get that, but you get it now. And now you know
Yeah.
something more about Japan that you didn't know before, and you have a
Exactly.
you have a broader cultural vocabulary.
Yeah, and I think it's neat where
Yeah.
like certain shows, like certain aspects have to be kept in, and like it like I think two of the things that are always neat when a lot of like I am a giant like despite my grumpy demeanor, I like romantic things. So whenever I read like romantic comedy anime or like shoujo stuff, there's almost always a Valentine's Day chapter followed by a White's Day chapter, and those
Yes.
are two things that never get changed. They never get westernized. Funny enough, which is cool, but it took me forever to realize that they are counterpart holidays, and Valentine's Day is for females to give to males, and it's vice versa on White's Day generally. So girls give chocolate on Valentine's Day, and boys give something white to the person they like on White's Day. And that took me. I was like, that was just a thing that never got westernized. I was always surprised about that because Valentine's Day would be like the thing to find a way to like westernize.
Yep.
But it never is. Yeah. That's a neat one because it's a cool like simple cultural difference that is easy enough to understand once you see it in a show.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like some animes go above and beyond with like basically explaining how things work. Like, have you ever noticed that like some animes will do that thing where like, maybe it's the companies they're working with that do the subtitles. They'll put in a little explanation of what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen that. It's funny because I think My Hero does that actually.
I think so. Yeah, I think sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So, I have a thing that kind of relates to this that I'm curious about your thoughts. I know that Christopher Sabat does this, at least specifically with Vegeta, and I believe Sean Schimmel does it a little bit with Goku. Is what do you guys feel about when character actors, like Western voice actors, adapt lines the way like an actor would in anything else to fit the characterization in the West? Because I know, like in the Broly movie, Christopher Sabat doesn't change the spirit of the lines, but he adapts lines to sound more like the way Vegeta would say them because he's been Vegeta for almost 30 years. And like, I'm curious, like, what do you guys feel about that? Like, would you guys rather like beat for beat exact like language or more like fit it to sound like the character in the West?
I suppose my question is, isn't that a necessity? Like, I always thought that because of the fact that they're trying to like dub and match like specific pacing and stuff like that, that they had to kind of basically like reinterpret the lines altogether to match better. Like they still have to like get the basic idea of what they're saying, but like they like sometimes Japanese sentences can be much shorter or much longer than like they would sound in American, so they have to like
and I think what it is like Sabat, like specifically for Vegeta, because that's his character, right? Like that's him. Will like add or take away lines according to like what the context should say, because Vegeta is like the same character in any adaptation of Dragon Ball Z, but like he's been playing this character for 30 years and he knows how he needs to sound, I guess. And so I just thought that was cool that he does so much extra legwork for this one character because that's his boy.
No, I feel I get that. Now when it comes to it's crazy, right? Because I know we're doing this with Dragon Ball. And I know
after this I have a fun thing that Zin Shadow from Jet just told me. Is that the other So real quick, so we talked about the bow and arrow thing. The other way that you always see it in Japan, and I forgot about this because I know I've seen it, and I just didn't like it doesn't fit culturally for us at all. Is that it looks kind of like an arrow, a straight up arrow with names long ways on either side. That's an umbrella, and that's why anytime characters share an umbrella in like anime, it's a big deal because that's how they write names together. Whether you're like trying to be cute like a couple, so the umbrella thing is another one, and that's why it doesn't make sense, I guess, to us in the West, because sharing an umbrella is like you have to be close to each other, but it's not really a big deal. It's like polite, right?
It's not.
No, I mean when I share an umbrella with somebody, we're basically married. Doesn't matter. Who
But Aaron was raised in Japan.
Aaron's marrying everybody.
Aaron grew up in Japan, so we understand that.
oh, it's true.
But I guess from maybe it's derivative because we all can't. The U.S. is derived from the UK so strongly, and it rains there every week. But sharing an umbrella is just common courtesy. But in Japan, it's like
there's similar romantic tropes though. Like, I mean, how often in a romance movie do you get the here's an umbrella for you, my lady, or more specifically, and this is probably the more Western appropriate one, putting down your coat over a puddle.
Yep.
Which I've never seen anybody in my life do, because why would I ruin my coat when you could just walk around the puddle? I can just carry you. If I'm gonna walk through the puddle, who came up with this trope? It's the stupidest trope. You're just stomping my coat into the puddle. I'm sorry. What a hand trope.
Oh god.
Aaron would be very mad if someone stepped on his coat. That's the moral of this story, guys.
Stomping my coat into the water.
Oh man.
You were saying something, Sharif, about the.
Yeah, I was gonna just say something about as far as adapting voice lines, like with Chris Sabat with Vegeta. Now it's funny too because at this point, Dragon Ball English dub and Dragon Ball Japanese dub are two different entities for me now. Because I never watched Dragon Ball subtitled till Dragon Ball Super.
Same.
The first Dragon Ball I ever watched subtitled for the first time. And I remember listening to Goku's voice and I was like, why does he say? At the same time, I have grown to love and appreciate Goku.
Oh no, the internet's eating Sharif again.
I know I don't speak. Oh wait, hold on. Am I here?
You're fading in and out. You're freezing. You got too excited.
I moved too much. I'm gonna stop moving. But what I really like about am I cutting out again?
No, you're good.
Your audio's good.
Okay. All right. Good. So one of the biggest things I like about the Japanese voice of Goku is that she actually uses because Goku is a country bumpkin, she actually uses slang terms and slang, she talks in slang, which is cool because that's something Goku has always done. Even if you go back and read the original manga for Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, Goku does speak with a slight slang.
Yeah. Is he supposed to have a Kansai accent? I know Kansai is what they use for what we would use for southern accents, a more rural place.
Yeah. So I feel to adapt that for Sean Schimmel's voice, sounds now for him. I mean, for him to sound try to have more of a country vibe, I feel would be just super off-putting. So like I said, it's one of those things I have come to learn to appreciate both dialects and both what both provides differently. But it would just be weird, right? If Sean Schimmel just got country with Goku.
Yeah, man, it would throw us off.
Well, have you noticed they've been doing that a lot more lately? Or at least I've noticed it a lot more lately when they try and reinterpret Japanese farming accents or country accents. They just do it as an American country accent, which is always hilariously weird because the characters are Japanese and they're like, "Well, hi y'all, you want some pumpkin pie?" And I'm like, "This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen." It's very disjointing. I would rather them just speak with a very subtle accent than the hilariously weird. And I get it personally, and I think most American audiences kind of would interpret it correctly because they know what to associate with country accents, or at least they know the stereotype they want to associate with country accents. And maybe that helps to give a little more characterization, because if you just have a character who's supposed to be a country bumpkin just kind of speaking like a British nobleman, the characterization doesn't work. It doesn't fit. It doesn't give you the right idea about the character, which is important. Like, you need to know who your character is, and like you need to give the tools to interpret what your audience is supposed to take away from that. So it can be good, but it can be disjointing.
Yeah, it is. And I think with Goku, I think it took till Dragon Ball Super, funnily enough, to see like how Goku's really supposed to be. Because like in the West, Goku is kind of idealized as like this ultimate hero, where in Japan, Goku's just a guy who likes to fight. And I think it didn't really come to a head for like Westerners until the Tournament of Power, because he basically starts that whole entire arc because he just is looking for a fight.
It's a distinct difference in the characterization, and part of that's because like we didn't grow up with Dragon Ball. We didn't get Dragon Ball into the mid 2000s, and so you don't get to see that like Goku is this like dumb little kid who's always been a martial artist who always challenges the biggest guy in the room,
right?
For no reason.
But yeah, as far as reinterpreting lines, that's also kind of complicated, because on the one hand, it's like, does it still match the artistic vision, as long as like I'm not a big like, I'm not telling you have to follow the authorial intent of like the original creator, but as long as it still matches with the characterization and helps the story flow the same way. Like if it's not throwing a wrench in the story mechanics or the characterization of a type of person, then yeah, that all for it. Great job. Like, and on the other hand, I'm always about actors finding their specific voice, like, building a character for themselves, which is difficult when you're being handed a property that already has a specific characterization.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a little complicated. There's reasons for doing it, and there's reasons to maybe like pull back. It can also be weird when you're just trying to be very strict about saying the things and with the exact inflection that your character says them. Like, okay, this is a weird one, and maybe I only noticed this because of because I've been watching the subs for the entirety of its run. But so like when I watched the My Hero movie, I had to watch it with dubs because they didn't have subs. And you guys have always told me like, oh, the dubs are great, and like I agree, the dubs are pretty good. But at this point, I prefer it in the Japanese. But like one of the weird things is that like, so Bakugo has this very distinctive like underlying raspiness to his voice in the Japanese, and they try and emulate that in the American, and I don't know, to me it sounds hilariously bad.
I don't know. I think I always liked Bakugo's voice.
Like I said, because I haven't been.
It's because you're not used to it.
It's very funny sounding in the American version as opposed to the Japanese version. One thing I will say, and because Scott, I think highly disagrees with me in terms of like subs versus dubs on My Hero specifically, I love, despite the fact that I know it's adults mainly acting as all the characters, but despite that, they sound way more like children to me in the subtitle version. And it's specifically in like some of the larger fight scenes where like their voices crack very constantly, and it sounds more, I don't know, it sounds more strained. The action really matches with it well. I don't know, it's something about it that has like it grounds it like really well. Like, I don't know, there's this moment where it's the moment of spoilers, I guess. Bakugo is fighting Deku, and when he turns the fight around at the last minute, it's like he's screaming in pain, like as he's overcoming Deku with that awesome finishing move. And it's just like it cracks and breaks, and it just sounds so desperate and amazing. It's like, oh yeah, you really feel for it. You're like, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
It's a bit of characterization. It's subtle, but it's there, and I'm very there for it. Where like a lot of the English dubs sound very polished to me. I don't know. They like. No dissing on the dub artists, because I know there's a lot of restraints about what they have to do.
I mean, they have to match lip flaps, like
exactly.
like that
so
alone
it can
is
be
tough.
Very difficult to like inflect the way you would in an American accent, because it wouldn't match the words at all.
Yep.
So I get that.
So anyway, as we kind of move towards our conclusion here, I have one last question. I want to know: do any of you guys have a favorite trope for when things are westernized? as an example, and my favorite one is I love when cigarettes are turned into lollipops.
Oh my god, is that a thing? I never noticed that.
That's my favorite
Yes.
one.
Do you have any animes specifically that
One Piece is the
done that
biggest offender because Sanji smokes like a motherfucker, and that man is my hero. I love Sanji; he's the boy. But they change his cigarette to a lollipop because it's an easy change. They just color the end and they add the lolly to it whenever he pulls it out of his mouth. But it's so funny because he like has it like this, and it's a lollipop.
Okay, but who didn't do that with like lollipops?
Oh,
and
we
shit?
all did.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think my favorite trope is when they change. I know they do it for legal reasons, but when they actually change like the names of like restaurants and like actual like commercial establishments.
McDonald's.
Like in Devil is a Part-Timer, McDonald's is called WickDonald's.
Wait, it's not like that in the Japanese version? Is it
No, I
actually
think it's the same.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, wait.
That's a fun game.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Or like in Code Geass, Lelouch has to order pizza, and he's clearly ordering Pizza Hut pizza. Like in the original, like you actually see the Pizza Hut logo, but in like the West, they censored the Pizza Hut logo off on everything.
That's amazing.
So she's clearly eating Pizza Hut, but like in the West, we're like, we can't show that here.
That's
You know
so
what I'm
good.
really surprised I don't see more of? I'm surprised I don't see any Kentucky. I don't see as much Kentucky Fried Chicken knockoffs in animes because Kentucky Fried Chicken kind of has a weird cultural thing that surrounds it. Like, for example, on American Thanksgiving, Japanese people will go to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. I'm not entirely
There's
sure
an
what the background
entire
is.
episode of one. There's a YouTube thing somewhere. I'll try and find it this weekend and tweet it. That explains that it's a cultural like thing based on an ad from like the 80s.
Yeah, there's like a big like they do a big Christmas thing. It's wild. Like, and Kentucky Fried Chicken is such shit too. I'm gonna take this moment. I'm gonna take this moment to dunk on Kentucky Fried Chicken. Fuck you, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Fuck you, Colonel Sanders.
Oh man. So
Kansas chicken all the way.
with that, we're gonna start bringing the show to an end. Who's bringing next week's topic? Aaron, do you want it or is it me?
I can take it. Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll think of something good.
All right, so next week Aaron will bring us something to the table. In case you guys didn't already know, this is the Super Otaku Show. You can catch us here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find us wherever podcasts are served or on YouTube at Roman Bear Streams. Make sure if you watch us on iTunes, give us that 5-star review. It helps us a lot. Share us with a friend or a buddy or a family member who you just want to make get into anime. I don't know. Just anyone, really. Homeless guys who happen to have cell phones with Spotify services. Him too. Anyway, guys, until next time, it's been a lot of fun. Keep watching anime, and so long.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.